So I'm trying to bend my body, like my knees, and just walk around and just get ready to get on the bus and try to go pretty far. But my right knee is killing me. And that's from banging it during a seizure on the ground. I mean, I've had so many injuries on my knees, back, feet, head that they hurt when I try to move them. And that's going to be for the rest of my life. And as I get older, the pain's going to get more severe. Now, why does my knee hurt so bad? Well, because I bumped into stuff my whole life. I had a seizure. I've had several falls. And every time I have a seizure, my legs, knees, everything get all cut up and banged. So, why am I having seizures? According to my father, they don't exist. The pain I'm feeling in my knee is a fantasy. The fact that I'm using a cane, that's a fantasy. I want to be like this, according to my father. My father thinks that this is all a game. And his new wife, she loves titting me. You know that game Tit for Tat? She thinks she's playing tit for tat. I'm not playing no fucking games. I'm trying to get a disability established. I'm trying to get documentation of a disability through a neurologist. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to the Department of Health and Human Services trying to get Social Security so when I'm out of work because I got a seizure or I'm injured again, I can pay my bills and not get thrown out to the woods. And that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to stay alive. That's what I'm doing. Now, what do you think they're doing? You think they're helping me? You think they're trying? No, no, no. They want to get me killed. They want me dead so they can continue being happy. So they're just going to pretend like this is all fake, like it's all a fantasy. And then when I die, or when I'm in the woods hanging from a tree, or if I die from a seizure, or if my heart goes out in the woods, or if somebody hits me over the head to rob me because they know I'm this woods guy, oh man, he's homeless, so we can do whatever we want to him. We can rape him, we can rob him, we can do whatever we want. This is what they want from me. They want me living in the woods. And if you're thinking, well, why don't you sleep in your car? I can't drive thanks to my father and mother. Once when I go to a doctor and I get documentation of my disability, and then I'm seizure and shake free for a year, then I can drive and sleep in my car. But I've been trying to get that for 15 years. And every time I run into a wall that my mother and father put there. My mother and father have put up walls to prevent me from driving. They've put up walls to prevent me from collecting Social Security. The only way I can collect Social Security is if I go along with my mother's and father's bullshit. If I go along with my mother's fantasy and I live in my mother's fantasy land, then I can collect. Well, I'm not willing to lie. Plus, that will backfire eventually. Eventually, lying to Social Security backfires. So I'm not willing to lie. I literally had, I mean, I was brainwashed, so I didn't know up from down all the way to age 19. I was believing my father. I believed in my mother. If they told me something, I believed it. Now, as an adult, I realize that giving a child multiple downers will bring them down. I know as an adult that giving a child multiple depressants might make him depressed. I know as an adult that if I'm given 3 medications that on and the piece of paper that comes with the medication say please consult the doctor if you have suicidal thoughts. I know if I feel like I have suicidal thoughts, I should go to the doctor and come off of that medicine. But my mother, she told me to ignore the side effects. She told me don't blame the medicine. Like, for instance, she used to use phrases at the wrong timing. Like, you know how some people, like, if they get in trouble, like they steal something, they say don't blame them, they'll blame it on the medicine or something, and then the parents will say don't blame the medicine. Well, that never happened with me. I never once in my entire life blamed the medicine for any action I ever did. That was never a thing for me. I've never done that. I've never tried to blame the medication for something I have done. But when I brought up side effects like hangovers, headaches, heart beating weird, being afraid at night, suicidal thoughts, depression, when I brought these things up to my mother, she used to say, don't blame the medicine. Don't blame the medicine because you have headaches. Don't blame the medicine. Meanwhile, they bring me to an emergency room because I have such bad migraines that I can't get off the floor. My nervous system won't work. I'm on the floor screaming in pain. I get to the emergency room and they give me Tylenol. It's not enough. Whatever they gave me is not enough. I'm still in extreme pain. And so they give me Vicodin. That helps. The pain goes away. So they give me a bottle of Vicodin to bring home at 16, 15, I think it was 15 years old. Now, what happens to that Vicodin? My mother starts popping it like it's hers, mixing it with booze. This was my life. My mother mixing Vicodin with booze and then telling me not to blame my headaches on the medicine. This is fucked up shit. Oh my God, was my mother crazy. And now, when I go to the doctors and try to explain why I'm sick, why I'm hurt, why I can't walk, why I'm twitchy, why when I move my right arm, my leg bounces, why when I'm laying down, my whole body just goes, woo, and starts twitching all over the place. And why do I wake up in the middle of the night seizing? What is this all about? So I tell them, but it sounds crazy because my mother was completely nuts. The thing she was doing to me was completely nuts. You don't give a child extra Ipecac as a punishment, but my mother did that. You don't try to give a child something that will get him sick on Halloween so he can't go out and trick or treat, but my mother did that. You don't smack your child with a ruler because you're just upset, but my mother did that. You don't smack your kid in the car because you had to pick him up at school, but my mother did that. You don't ignore side effects and serious damage to your child's body, but my mother did that. You don't make up illnesses to the doctors for Social Security and money and because you like attention, but my mother did that. You don't try to blame your own problems on your child, but my mother did that. You don't try to blame your own drinking on your child, but my mother did that. You don't try to blame anything on your child that's your own choices, but my mother did that. You don't try to cover up your actions by moving your child around as soon as teachers start catching on that there's something wrong with your child's body. He has a coordination issue and he's having problems moving his body. You don't do that. But what did my mother... Oh, here's another one. My mother put me in ballet to cure an overdose and the problems I had with my body. My mother also called this overdose an allergy to a combination of medications. That's what she called it. And then when the doctor said, what medications were they? She said, I don't know, forget about it. And she never gave a list of medications to the doctor of what this mysterious reaction was. That's weird. My mother never brought me to the emergency room last night. When this happened. Instead, she brought me... Oh, sorry. I'm shaking really bad. My knee hurts. I'm shaking really bad and this is becoming difficult. I'm going to take a breather and start again. This is really traumatic for me. I have to relive these moments and they flash before my eyes and they're pretty bad. It's hard to talk about this stuff, especially as I go on. Okay. When I had an overdose as a child, my mother gave me medication. I couldn't see Batman, Mr. Freeze. My vision went out. I wasn't able to move. My mother did not bring me to the emergency room as well. My mother decided to leave me on a pile of newspapers to fucking die. Now, luckily, I did not die. Instead, I woke up with permanent damage to my body. She did that. Then she lied to doctors about it, and the teachers started seeing it. She did that. Then she decided to move me to Texas. She did that, even though my father says I made that decision. My father says a 7-year-old is the reason why he moved to Texas. He's told me 100 times, well, you chose. It's your own fault we moved to Texas. You were 7, and you wanted to go to Texas. No, my mother wanted to go to Texas, and I was afraid of her for my whole life. Not only this, here's another one. She did scare her own grandson. Her own grandson has a hate for his grandmother. Her own grandson, when he was young, was afraid of her. When I was getting a beating from a ruler one time, I came out of the beating, and my nephew was crying. Her grandson was crying, scared. Oh my God, this is wrong. Oh my God, this is wrong. I had to tell him, no, it's okay, Seth. It's okay. No, it's not okay. No, it's not okay, he said. And I say, this happens all the time. It's okay, Seth. I get beat like this all the time. She smacks me around all the time. She puts drugs. She acts crazy all the time. I'm used to it. It's okay, Seth. And then he goes, no, it isn't. No, it isn't. I want to go home. No. So my nephew is afraid of his grandmother. And my mother is scaring the shit out of her own son and her own grandson. She did that. Now I have to suffer horribly, and I have to die for those sins. And what is my father doing about all this? Oh, he's trying to make things worse. What is his new wife doing about this? She's trying to make things worse. She's calling the people that are trying to help me and putting up walls to make sure that I die. And I'm trying to get Social Security, right? Things are going okay. They want my father's number. I give it. All of a sudden, a wall comes up where I can't get anything done. Okay, let's go to the doctors and the neurologist. Let's go to a primary care and let's go to neurology. Now they ask for the phone number to help me. Now I'm supposed to have faith in Jesus. I'm supposed to love them and have faith that these people are going to turn around and do the right thing. So I give her the number and I tell her, this is to help me. They don't do the right thing here. Nope, she had a whole fucked up plan. She was trying to really be evil, and she really wanted to put up a wall and make sure I couldn't get help. So anyways, I'm going to the primary care and the neurologist. Dr. Hotch is actually doing a good job. He's listening. He's starting to help me. Same thing with the PCP. They're listening. It looks like they're going to actually help me. But then a wall goes up. Oh my God. Oh yes, they put up a wall so I can't get any help. Every time I give a phone number to my family, they continue to try to get me hurt. Well, now this was my last try. It's time for me to live in the woods off the grid again. There's nothing I can do about that. Nothing. I'm trying to make good choices here, but my father has taken away every life-saving thing. I can't use the shelter. I can't sleep in a car. I can't collect Social Security. I can't work. How am I supposed to make a living? How am I supposed to live indoors? What am I supposed to do here? My father and his new wife have made sure that I will just die. Literally die. I don't want to get hurt anymore either. My knee is killing me. My father has literally made sure that my body will be hurt for the rest of my life. He has put me in so much danger. He put me in danger at age 7. He put me in danger in New Mexico at age 9. He put me in danger. He took all my education away too in Maine. And in New Mexico, I got no education. He put me in danger in Massachusetts by allowing his wife to mess around with pills with me. He allowed his wife to drink and take my Vicodin and my Xanax. She was popping Xanax with booze, and then she popped Vicodin with booze. I brought it to his attention. Do you think he tried to get his wife help? No, he turned it around on me and said, why are you watching her? Why are you watching her? Because she's taking pills that are mine. Well, that's only one time. Don't you watch her no more. It's not your place to watch what she's doing. And he started screaming, and my mother started screaming at me like it's my fault that she was taking my pills. This always used to happen. It's my fault. She's taking my Vicodin and mixing them with booze. Oh, that's my fault she's doing that. I caught her doing it, so it's my fault. This is how it always was. I didn't even go in the closet. All I did was sit on the bed and stake her out. And then I caught her coming out of the closet with my Vicodin. And I even told her, don't take my Vicodin, don't take my pills. Doesn't matter. She did what she wants. Everything is my fault. Everything is always my fault. I'm a crazy person, right? I'm homicidal. I'm suicidal. I'm depressed. I'm bipolar is what my mother would say. I tell stories. I tell lies. And my mother established this when I was 5 years old. When I was 5 years old, I brought a swimming medal to my mother, and that's when she started. She started right then, right there. This swimming medal was won in my orphanage. It had ZG because my name used to be Zachary Greenelge. So, in the orphanage, they wrote a Z and a G. This 20-year-old nice woman gave it to me and told me I did the best at treading water. And I got this medal and I put it in my Lego box because, this was my first accomplishment. I held it very close to my heart. Now, I went into a lot of foster care homes and I met this foster mother. Then she decides to adopt me after an overdose. She ODs me, and then there's a whole adoption thing, and she sends me back, and she brings me forward. All I care about is this overdose and the EPICAC punishments. That's the fucked up shit that really bothers me. And don't forget what I'm about to discuss here. So I bring up the medal. I go through my Legos, and I see my little swimming medal. I go, great. Oh, I should show this to my new parents. Oh, yes, they'll be so proud of me. I should bring this to them. So I bring the swimming medal to them. My mother swipes it out of my hand, says, how dare you? How dare I what? I won a swimming medal, I say at 5 years old. How dare you steal this? This has to be an African American's medal. We have an African American here, and this must be his medal. There's no way you weak kid could swim better than him. And then she also decides to tell me I'm a liar. You're a liar. You're a thief. You're a liar. You like lying. You tell stories. No, that swimming medal isn't yours. You're telling a story. And then she says, you have attachment disorder. You're going around and putting G's on everything. You're putting your last name on everything to hurt me, my mother says. You're trying to hurt me, aren't you? And my mother goes off the rails crazy. Then she brings me to the doctor telling them that I have attachment disorder, I'm a liar who likes to make up stories, and I'm a thief. And this behavior continued year after 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 year until the day she died of liver failure because she was mixing pills with alcohol. Now, when I go into the doctors, you think that they're going to believe me? Of course not. My mother spent 15 years telling doctors I'm some storyteller. Even though I've doubled down on honesty. If I was any more honest, I would have to bring any joints that my friends give me into the police station. If I was any more honest, when my friend says, you want a hit of this weed? I would have to swipe it out of their hand and go to the police station and go, hey, my friend's smoking this weed. I'm literally as honest as it can be. The only thing I am not is a snitch. I will not snitch on anybody. But if you ask me a question, I will answer you honestly, and it gets me in trouble. According to all my bosses, I need to learn how to not be so honest. It gets me in trouble. My honesty gets me in trouble a lot because I'm not willing to lie. If you ask me about something, I give the honest truth. If you ask me about my addiction, I will give you the answers. Like if you ask me, have you done any gay stuff? No, I am not gay, but yes, when I was a child, I experimented. You think I want to tell strangers that? But I have to be honest. So I don't go in the details, but I say, yeah, I tried stuff when I was I had to experiment to see where I was at. Thank God for Dan Beaudry. I miss him. He did right by me. If it wasn't for him, I would never have had a girlfriend. I never would have had any support, and I probably would have went nuts with my mother. Because Dan Beaudry saw her craziness. My brother saw her craziness. My nephew saw her craziness. My sister saw her craziness. So I felt like I wasn't the only one that knew that she was acting crazy. But now I have to pay for this. Now I got to pay for a crazy mother because I need medical care and I need something diagnosed. I need this neurological disorder diagnosed on paper, and then I can move on with my life. But I can't do that. Why? Because my father wants to make sure that nobody ever finds out what happened. He's putting up walls. When I try to get Social Security, instead of trying to help me get it like he promised, he makes sure I never get it. I'll give you an example. I'm in Rochester, and I go to the Department of Health and Human Services of Rochester. By the way, they're pretty corrupt to begin with. Like with this landlord, they really don't have any want to help the people that are poor. They want to help the people that are more wealthy. But anyways, I go down there and I beg them for years. I keep on begging them for help. Eventually, I get a worker named Beth. And she starts helping me. She starts believing me. But she finally wants my family's number. And I tell her that might be a bad idea because they might not tell the truth. They might decide just to get back at me because I'm talking about this. They don't like taking responsibility for their actions. They really don't. If it sounds bad, like they did something bad, they come after you. They really do. They try to hurt you. If you try to talk to them about something they did, oh no, they can't do anything bad. Oh no, you must be after them. Oh, they take it all personally. So that probably is going to go bad, I tell her. So anyways, I go back and I try to wait. Oh, the paperwork gets filed wrong. I have to wait 6 months. Then they file it wrong again. Then they close my case on purpose. Why? Because my father's probably telling him, oh, he can work fine. He's fine. No, 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 he's just some big storyteller. Just like they did at 5 years old. And remember, I won a swimming medal, and I must a liar. I'm a liar. I make up stories. I'm a liar, they say. At 5 years old, 6 years old, 7 years old, 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old, 11 years old, my mother continues to just make up stories and then try to make me to look out to be some liar. So whenever she gets caught doing something, it's my fault. Whenever everything is just some lie or fantasy. That's what they say. So when I try to get help, what do you think happens? Nothing. They just put up more walls and they close my case. I am literally dying here, hurting. My knee hurts. My other knee, I can't walk proper. My back is killing me. And I'm talking about the muscles. Forget about the neurological disorder. That's every day of my life. And if I'm around cold, it gets turned up. If I'm allowed, like if I go to a concert, oh, forget about it. I got to drink some alcohol or something before I go. If I go to some concert, like when I went with my sister, I have to take medicine and prepare for that. I have to prepare for a concert because it could hurt. So as long as I take certain pills or alcohol or certain medicines, I can go to a concert. And I did prepare. I went to one concert in my life, and I made sure to prepare before I left because I do not like loud noises. Something happens with loud noises. But my mother and father knew this. They knew loud noises affected me in some way. Well, we also knew I had a coordination issue at age 7. We also knew that I don't like being touched. But it's a shock through my system. It's not it's like it started right after the overdose. Like, for instance, in the orphanage, during the swimming medal, when we went swimming and I won the medal, my hair was spiky and wet. We had to cross this outside to get to the parking garage and load up to a van. When we were out in the winter cold, I wasn't really wearing much for clothing, and my hair was wet. I did not get shocked in my back. I did not have any of this electricity in my back hurting me. But after my mother gave me an overdose and didn't call an ambulance, this was for life. And it gets worse every year. Every year a little worse. Now I've had a couple seizures, but they usually were 4 years apart. But now, with me having to survive, with me having to do so much while injured, with me bleeding internally and going to work, I mean, I got pictures of this, but remember, the doctors didn't want to look at it. It took me like a lot of work, and the doctor came in the office literally looking like I'm a faker. Then he says, well, let's see it. So